Breaking news, the 7400F is now in the market and it might just replace the 7500F for that good Ryzen CPU deal.
Whoa, we gotta benchmark it first. And in today's video, we're gonna test the 7500F versus the 7400F to see is getting the 7400F a better deal or are they about the same? We're about to find out after a word from today's sponsor.
We're all about saving money here. I mean, that's why we're comparing the 7500F and the 7400F to see what gives you the best bang for buck. And if you're looking to maximize your savings on components, you need to check out today's sponsor, Jawa.gg. Jawa is easily one of the best marketplaces to buy and sell used hardware, laptops, and even get awesome custom gaming PCs at some pretty amazing prices. If you hit up the gaming PC tab, they have some super aesthetic and budget pre-built options, like this Intel 1300F and GeForce GTX 1080 PC for just $525. And when it comes to components, the PC parts section is always packed full of gems. One of my favorite finds from today is this GTX 1070 for just $100. To do some deal hunting yourself, be sure to check out Jawa today, and if you end up finding anything, use code TOASTY10 to save 10% off your order up to $10. Big thanks again to Jawa for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to it.
So what's cool about the Ryzen 7400F is that it's not drastically different from the 7500F. With the 7400F, we do get a lower boost speed of 4.7 gigahertz versus 5 gigahertz for the 7500F, and then Matt's gonna tell you guys about a little bit of a difference of the physical chip.
Now, we're not gonna delid our CPU here in this video, but according to Tom's Hardware, there was a review done where if you look underneath the IHS of the 7400F, you will notice that it is using thermal paste instead of solder compared to all the other 7000 series Ryzen CPUs, and because of that, it does tend to run a bit warmer compared to other CPUs in this generation. We'll have to put that to the test to see if it's something that's detrimental to the processor, but I'd imagine it's not gonna be something that crazy, but it actually does open up an area for those who like to delid CPUs. You can actually delid the CPU and put something like liquid metal on it, but that's just for you crazy enthusiasts out there. Let's go and talk about the test bench right here that we built for PCBros.tech, our PC selling business, that actually I stole from Jonah to use for this video. Jonah is not happy about it, but I stole it so we can use it for this video, and it's actually a really clean build. Let's go over all the specs here for our test bench, and then we'll dive into some testing.
This originally was a Ryzen 5 7500F build, which is of course the 6-core 12 thread. He paired it with the Power Color Red Devil 7800 XT 16 gig from AMD, the MSI B650 Gaming Plus Wi-Fi, a 2TB Clev Krauss C910 Gen 4 SSD, 32 gigs of Clev Krauss vRGB, 6000 MHz CL30, and that's 2x16 dual channel, a Sigotep 750 watt 80 plus gold modular power supply. We're using the ID Cooling 214 XT and ARGB. He has some Asia Horse red sleeve cables. We also loaded this thing with Montech Airs, and this is the Height Y70 with the Gen 4 riser cable.
So yeah, this is a really awesome build for this test bench, and the benchmarks are gonna go as follows. We're gonna first start off with our Let's Play benchmarks, which is gonna be Fortnite and Marvel Rivals. Those won't be the best technical side-by-side, but after we do those, we will transition into some other benchmarks. We're gonna test some high-end games at 1440p to see if that makes a difference at all between the two CPUs, and then test a couple of esports titles at lower settings, 1080p, to really stress those CPUs to see what the difference really is. And then we'll come to a conclusion. Is the 7400F worth the money savings? We're about to find out.
All right guys, we are playing Marvel Rivals while I let my team lose the game. We're at 1440p, high settings, we even have ray tracing. Pretty high up, guys. This is pretty exciting. It's hard to do right now.
Yeah, and we're using the 7500F here. As you guys see, this is the first test we're going to run. We'll have a bunch of other side-by-side tests as well, but this will be our Let's Play test that Jackson's about to start another round of.
40 damage, 0 healing. I'm a good healer.
Great healer, good job. Yeah, the biggest thing is with the 1440p test, will the 7500F or the 7400F have any sort of difference at all? That's the biggest thing. And then we will do CPU bound tests that'll actually show the difference that theoretically should be there because of the difference in specs.
Don't worry, team. I will run until I stay alive. No, not Penny v Penny. Oh my God, she realized the move. Venom needs me. Venom, please. Please, get away from the wall. Venom. Look at his little tentacle. Why are you hitting me? Oh God, she's old. Oh, she's wasted her ult. Come here. Get him. Get over here. Oh, good thing my balls don't have collision. Big ult. Oh wait, is that? Okay, cool. I counter ulted. I was worried that I just ulted with our person. Oh, this isn't gonna be good. Yeah, the 7500F, such an impressive CPU.
The 7400F, in terms of pricing, especially with all the new tariffs and stuff, it's kind of slotted in at the same price that the 7500F was, and the 7500F is starting to get more expensive. So it really will be an interesting debate to see, are you still getting good value with the 7400F at 122, or should you pay the new premium that the 7500F has, or should you just go 7600? Oh, you got
Shoot, I did not think she was gonna, I thought she was gonna ignore me.
Oh! You got it.
We just lost off that. Bye, Venom. I hope you find your dad. I think we win.
Hey,
With
that
a
all
little
didn't cost you.
Oh, this is Magic. That's your name. That was pretty good. The 7500F. Yeah. What would you say, like 95 FPS average,
Yeah,
give or take?
around the middle. And like the firefights, you're getting down to like 85-ish. So not too bad. Let's switch to another game, and then we'll swap to the other benchmarks to show you guys what this thing can do, and then 7400F. All right, guys, we are in Fortnite with the 7500F, doing some interesting settings here. Running 1440p unlimited frame rate, DX12, but on performance mode. So we're kind of getting a little best of both worlds, but we are going to be using the CPU much more, but also having better graphical fidelity at 1440p. So this is just a kind of different test we're going to try, and I'll keep it consistent and go to Pleasant Park. We're getting on draw about 260 to 270 FPS. I have a feeling in a game like this, it's probably not going to be a dramatic difference. Hopefully, if we're going to have a good budget CPU here in the 7500F, I hope it's not, but don't push me. Yeah, nice try. Yeah, we're getting, I mean, this is more than someone needs at 1440p. I mean, if I could have 240 Hz 1440p monitor with this PC, this would be great for that. We are playing OG, by the way, which is much more CPU bound. And we did that intentionally, and I'm realizing I'm in build mode now. I don't know what their strat was
Never even
there.
turned around.
Oh
my God.
Goodbye. I'll just heal for a second, don't mind. Hey, buddy. Oh, that's who it is. I was like, who is that? Beta! Yeah, guys, I mean, got a couple kills. 10 kills on the board right now. We're going to switch to the 7400F, run the same games back, and then after that, at the end, we'll have a bunch more benchmarks that'll be side by side that show you guys exactly what the difference is between these two. Budget CPUs. Ugh. Cooking. And yeah, I'm excited to see if there is a major difference and if both options are still good in the market. Let's move to the 7400F.
All right, guys, we are playing Marvel Rivals again, 2.0, and as you guys can see, I try to keep it somewhat consistent. We're playing the same character, slightly different map.
Yeah.
We are seeing a little bit lower FPS now that we're outside of the spawn, and the other thing I noticed too is the temperature on the CPU as well as the usage are both a little bit higher than before.
Yeah, again, this is a different map. That's why we do these live benchmarks first and then show you guys the true scientific side-by-side benchmarks, is because we can't get these to be perfectly accurate every single time. What is happening?
Helga's on me?
But yeah, one thing again about the 7400F we mentioned is it's not soldered. It uses normal thermal paste, which technically means you can delid it if you want to and put your own liquid metal on it. But that means the temperatures out of the gate are a little bit higher. It's not high enough to where I'm worried. And also that clock speed is at 4.7 gigahertz instead of 5. So it's a little bit lower. But at 1440p, it doesn't seem to be a major issue. A little bit lower lows, but...
And it doesn't seem like we're really having, like, you know, the GPUs not being held back as far as like the, you know, like the 8400 or 8500, you know, where you have like less PCIe lanes. Get away from her. Oh! Get over here, Cap. I'd be so pissed if I were them. Yeah, we're doing like really good now. They're kind of falling off. Oh my God.
You get messed up.
Son of a gun. Oh, right in front of her nuts. No reason to ult here, but I'm gonna ult. She counter ulted me with the same ult. Friggin' weird.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna. Ow. Is there an octopus? Oh, there's a whale. Watch out for the squirrels, Bucky. Why are you running towards them? How am I supposed to heal you up there? What do you mean you require healing? This game has very low IQ. Get over here, boy. Oh my God, he's one tap. I don't think we could be playing a worse comp right now. Get away.
For you.
Don't worry, since our other healer or our other DPS wouldn't turn around, I'll take care of him. I can't believe we just
You
won
want
that
one
with
healer? It happens.
You know what? It is.
No.
It's the new meta. It's the new meta.
It's the meta. One healer.
All right. So far, slightly higher temps, lower clock speed, more utilization, slightly lower FPS.
Much less use of RAM.
Much less use of RAM. If that's
Much less use of
important to
RAM.
you.
Very important. Let's move on to Fortnite. All right, guys, we are now on the 7400F, running the same settings, 1440p unlimited frame rate DX12 in good old Fortnite. And we're going to drop once again to Pleasant Park. Nice, it's a good drop right here. And off the rip, I am noticing similar results, but we are seeing slightly higher temperatures on the CPU. At some points when the CPU gets up there, as you see 78% usage, we hit about 70 degrees Celsius. We weren't seeing that with the 7500F. But again, the clock speed is kind of locked at about 4.75 gigahertz. So yeah, I mean, the performance seems a little bit lower. We'll see if we maintain that close to 300 FPS when we land. Again, this is one of those things where it just depends on if it's worth spending an extra $20 or $30, which we'll kind of recap all the benchmarks at the end of the video to decide. But It is a strong showing, and it's not running hot enough to where I'd be concerned long-term about it. FPS seems to be a little lower. I mean, we're getting about 260 on average, so we're starting to see a little bit of a difference here. What a guy! That's what I said, I'm probably gonna die! Oh God, this might be the end of me. I'm gonna have to re-queue. God dang it! Alright, goodbye. Oh! Sorry, Noble. Anyone else? Or is this gonna be where I call it? Is anyone else present? Not the gun I want to use. There was this other guy who just waited. But first, coffee. Sorry, no coffee today. I think, honestly, both CPUs, especially if you're doing 1440p, I don't think it really matters all that much. It's within a couple frames from each other. Is there a difference? Yes. If you get one cheaper than the other, I think it's definitely worth it, but it's one of those things where I wouldn't stress too much about it, especially at 1440p with these kind of FPS numbers, and the temperatures are fine enough. So now that we got through all our benchmarks, we did our side-by-side Let's Play style benchmarks, let's do ones that'll be a little more scientific. Some more games that'll really compare each CPU side-by-side, more 1440p tests, some higher end games, and also some esports titles. And we're gonna see, is there a major difference you should be really worried about, or is this CPU actually a good option on the market right now? Let's switch to that.
Alright guys, now that we've played Fortnite and Marvel Rivals, let's get really technical here and do some side-by-side benchmarks to show you guys, well, is there a real difference between the 7400F and 7500F? First up, we're going to try some 1440p titles that are more demanding, so we can see if there is any sort of bottlenecking on our GPU, the 7800 XT. In terms of Black Myth Wukong at 1440p high settings with no upscaling, with the 7500F we got an average of 60 FPS, a max of 71, and a minimum of 20, with the 7400F coming in with the same 60 FPS average with the same max of 71, but a higher minimum at 48. I chalk this up to margin of error. Both of these are more than playable at 1440p, 60 FPS on high settings without any sort of upscaling tech. We also ran the Monster Hunter Wilds built-in benchmark tool at 1440p high settings. With the 7500F, we end up with an average of 72.37 with a score of 24,754. And with the 7400F, we end up with an average of 72.02 with a score of 24,608. We end up with a slightly higher average on the 7500F here, but not by more than a frame. So really, again, margin of error at 1440p, you'd be fine with both of these CPUs. And then Cyberpunk at 1440p high settings. With the 7500F, we got an average of 109 with a minimum of 94 and a max of 129. And the 7400F got an average of 109 with a minimum of 95 and a max of 129. Once again, FPS numbers that are within 1 to 2 frames of each other, and I would chalk that up to margin of error and just say that both of these are still solid for 1440p paired with something like a 7800 XT. Now let's actually test these CPUs on their own. We ran CS2 1080p low settings with the Workshop benchmark map that allows you to run a standardized test to compare between two systems. On the 7500F, we got an average of 509 FPS with a 1% low of 174. And on the Ryzen 5 7400F, we got an average of 453 with a 1% low of 157. So this is the one point where we saw a big FPS jump, around 50 frames here. But again, we're talking 450 FPS versus 500 FPS. I don't think most people are really going to care, but it does show that there is a difference because of the clock speed. And the last game we tested for the CPU benchmark here is Rainbow Six Siege 1080p low settings. On the 7500F, we got an average of 545 FPS with a minimum of 388 and a max of 731. With the 7400F, we got an average of 540 with a minimum of 401 and a max of 701. Once again, here we had a lower max. The average was lower by a little bit, but the minimum was actually higher than the 7500F. So these numbers are pretty indicative that the 7400F is just a slightly slower version of the 7500F. Hey guys, Future Matt here. I'm jumping in because we recorded this video about a week ago, and now we're at the point now we're going to release it, and it is currently February 19th. And the original sentiment of this video was that the 7400F was incredibly hard to find at a good price, and the 7500F was getting more expensive. Well, it seems like that was just a random point in time, because right now you can get a 7400F for as little as $109 to $110, which is really good price performance, and the 7500F is around $130. So $130 for the 7500F is probably the better buy, but the fact that these things are $109 shipped from AliExpress right now makes really good price performance. So the debate is still tough, and during the outro you'll see us say a wide range of different prices. Those prices are based on what the prices were at the time of filming the video, but right now it's definitely a lot cheaper. The debate still is about the same though. I would still probably lean 7500F, but saving 30 bucks and getting the 7400F is not a bad buy at all. And yeah, it's really cool to see all the options we have on the market right now. Now I just wish the GPU market got a bit better. So now we finished benchmarking both CPUs. Let's bring Jackson back in here and wrap this video up real quick. I'm going back in time. Woo.
So as you guys can see, at 1440p, the 7400F is a pretty good choice if you can find it and if it is the right price. 1080p esports especially, the 7500F is still going to be a little bit better because it just has a higher boost speed and better temps overall. But at the end of the day, if this CPU is 125 and the 7500F is more like 170 and the 7600 is more like 190, it's kind of a tough decision to make, honestly, because they're so closely priced that it might make more sense just to get whichever one is in the US, quick shipping, and the best bang for buck at the moment. So this video is more of a tool or a guideline for you.
And we're in a market that, well, you know, is kind of crazy right now. Stuff is being impacted very heavily by tariffs that are coming in. So we don't really know what the AliExpress CPU market is going to look like in the long term and whether the 7400F or 7500F will actually be a viable option anymore. But if they are viable options and you find them at respectably close price ranges, the 7400F is a good option for 1440p gamers, but still the 7500F is the overall better CPU. But I want to hear from you guys. After watching these benchmarks, which one are you going to buy in the comments down below? And if you do want to buy any of the CPUs or any of the parts in today's video, links in the description down below will be fill links. They will help us out, and you can buy this PC at PCBros.tech if it's still in stock.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other two YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Now this PC, like we said, will be for sale at PCBros.tech with that 7500F and the 7800 XT, and I gotta say, stuff's getting pretty hard to find, but PC Bros, we still got your parts covered.
PCBros.tech, we got pre-built gaming PCs ready to go. We'll most likely build a PC with the 7400F as well for you guys. Use code ToastyBros on checkout to save 3% on your next purchase. See you guys later. Bye-bye.